All right, good morning. It is November 15th, and what day is it? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Excited to be here with you guys. I am very excited for the topic today. Brian James and I did some workshops in Dallas, and it was going over the different environments. And last week we talked about your mixer, the environment of a mixer. What I love even more though, the mixer is so important. Put your hand up if you planned one, if you got it on the calendar. Oh, good job. Lots of hands. Good for you. Um, so I feel like training on the social environment is so needed. And you know what, Kelsey Geige, your hair is amazing. I can't stop looking at it. So that's great color. Good balayage. Okay, now that was just, I'm trying to stay focused. I need ketones. I haven't had it, just my coffee, but great hair. The social environment, it's super important because how many of you feel like, and this is not true, this is your story, but I think many can relate that you've run out of a warm market. Raise your hand if you feel that way. Who do I contact? Okay. How many of you just feel that you're to this point where you just want to beat your head up against a wall because there may need to be something more than outbounding on Facebook, social media? What do you know about ketones and ketosis and running the play that works? How many of you feel, give me some more today, Abby? Okay. That is a piece of this business. And I've had a lot of brand new business launch lately, and it's a piece that I don't want to neglect because if you don't do that consistently, and you can do that from your kitchen table, from your bed, from your house consistently, and it should not be neglected. It is leaving money on the table, and somebody else is going to get to them if you don't. It is your way to work this business outside your local community. However, what is very effective is working within your local community. And in the first year and a half, my business was everywhere but Kansas City. And as a mother of a 5-year-old and just going through a lot of the stuff I went through this past year, I so desperately crave a local environment. I crave to have that explosion in my backyard where if I'm like, you know what, Utah ain't exploding right now, I feel great about staying home this weekend. But the one problem with having a local environment is it's easy to get lazy. And, when I plan something in Indiana or Kentucky or Michigan, like it's going with purpose and intention. It takes focus. Going into Calgary or Vancouver in a couple weeks, like they've been doing calls, they've been getting ready for it for weeks and weeks. There's been detail and hard work put into it. You think about your own local environment. I have promoters all over Kansas City now, truly. And I'm not putting the type of planning in here that I should be, and that I would be for sometimes other starting up markets. And so, but we're going to back up a step because you have to create the local community. And if you're sitting there, in your business and you just feel like you're at a standstill, then I hope this message, like we're sitting here in church, this Zoom training benefits you today. So what I just want you to walk away with is definitely get your piece of paper and pen and take some notes, because you can't apply everything that I'm going to give you. But the outcome for this call is that you maybe take 2 new social environments and implement them this week and next week. And if those aren't a huge success, then you can take another one and then try it. But let me just give you some ideas because, I had a conversation with a promoter last night, and she was telling me about the hesitation she's having with people she's talking to about the business. And I was like, this is ideal. I said, you're approaching them too soon. They're in your backyard. This can be a slow play. We can truly build the relationship in a local community. I think we get so used to outbounding and cold contacts and doing the social media play where you don't want to waste your time too long on someone that's closed. But in your local community, this can definitely be a higher success rate for a teammate if you'll slow down and stop going for the close too soon without developing the relationship and finding out if they'll be a good fit for you. So I think the local community and local market is a brilliant place to develop strong teammates in, because you really get to sift and sort and take your time about launching someone too soon. But you have to be willing to actively pursue it. And I think too many of us are sitting behind our computer and our phones, and we're just to this standstill place on it's not working. You're not working. You are not working smart. You're not taking advantage of all the environments available for you. And for many of us, we need to get off our butt and outside our house and into our local communities. So here are some ideas about places to go, things to be. And this is not going to be a long Zoom. I say that every week, but I do have yoga today. So number one, join a club for your favorite hobby. Okay. If you're a stay-at-home mom, like number one, it's so important for you to get outside the house and get a hobby. You cannot be all about your kids all the time in their lives. You've got to put your oxygen mask on, and you've got to create some space for you. Okay, so I loved how, I think it was in Katie Rollins' social media, she said, she'll find groups on Facebook, so this can also cross to that, of places, hobbies, interest. I think she told the story about a fall, she wanted to be more intentional about fall decorating. So she went into that group, not with the intention to recruit, but in that social environment about just showing up real on who she is. And that's all everybody wants to see us as anyway. So find a hobby that interests you and go get around people doing something that brings out something you're excited about, you're passionate about, because that will bring out the best in you. And won't that be attractive? We work on social media attraction all the time. If you're going to something you're excited about and something you love and something you're, getting ready to give your best into because you're going to enjoy it, don't you think you'll be an attractive personality type if you're having fun? So find a club or your favorite hobby. Men, sports. Why did I say men's sports? No, women too. I started playing a little bit of pickup just in some places. So sports, get on a volleyball team. A lot of local churches have, sports teams, sports nights. Maybe you need that in your life. Maybe you need to get moving. Maybe that would be part of your DMO that you need to implement because the working out isn't happening because you're sick of thinking you have to go invest a ton of money in a trainer and go get on a hamster wheel and it never changes. Go have fun with your fitness and have the outcome to go develop more of a market. Go into that social environment that creates team and camaraderie, and look at the people in there playing. Are they leaders? Are they supporters? Are they you can see so much about people when they're in a fitness arena. So maybe you're scared to death to walk into a gym, go join a local volleyball team or something that, is a team situation in sports. Number 3, attend seminars. Think about things that could, in one way, shape or another, have give you a common interest with people that eventually could tie back to. Well, what we do, it's so broad. You could go to financial seminars, you could go to sales seminars, you could go to leadership seminars, which we do all the time for Prove It. But if you're going and you're trying to expand your market, you want to be in a setting with like minds. So, be intentional. One thing that I began doing when I had just felt like, I'm not getting out of my house. I'm tired of outbounding and cold recruiting. I keep doing it, but I wasn't passionate about it. I had lost a little bit of that excitement on it. And I am absolutely in love with this woman who's in the Christian realm, an amazing speaker. When I see her, my heart just explodes on fire. Her name's Christina Kane, Lisa Bevere, Beth Moore, all these women, and they have this organization called Propel, and they literally travel all over the U.S. I found a seminar that was in West Palm last year, and that huge leader, not Jim Rome, John Maxwell was there with her. And I went by myself. I got on a plane and went to West Palm and went by myself. But something that I did before then was they had these groups of everybody going to that event. And so I just went in that group and I started requesting a bunch of those friends because if they were Christian entrepreneurs. And so that really fit within my wheelhouse and my personality type. And that would be someone that I'd be attracted to for my business. So you see, I put myself in a situation to go, and guess what? If I would have gone with 2 friends, I wouldn't have made friends. I'm telling you that, because I actually am an introvert and I will stick to what's comfortable if I'm not intentionally making myself uncomfortable. So went completely alone, shared Ubers with women, sat, at Prove It. I clench up like this when they tell us to change seats and go sit by people we don't know. I get terrified. And so it was absolutely one of those situations where all day I'm sitting next to women I don't know, and I exchanged business cards. Hey there.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Okay. Tell her you got to Zoom and this is hot stuff and you got to go. So, same thing. And so there was another one going on in Texas last weekend that I was thinking about going to. I decided not to go, but I went ahead and got in the group, and I have about 3 conversations going right now from the friends I requested in that group, because that's like a like-minded pool for me. So think about the seminars, think about the situations you could put yourself into where you're learning, people are open, they're engaged, they're invested. If they're going to seminars, don't you think they're the type of person that's craving something more? They're committed to personal development, right? And don't you need that here? So that's a great pool. Gyms and fitness classes, guys. This is a business investment and it's a write-off for me. Dr. Heather will probably tell me, no, it's not. You'd get in trouble, but it is for me. I go to 9 Rounds Boxing. I go to Orange Theory. I go to 2 different gyms. I go to yoga. I'm all over the place when it comes to my fitness and class situations with people. Because I'll tell you what, when I am dying at Orange Theory and I am running next to these 2 women beside me and we're pushing it, we feel like we have this instant bond with each other that I would feel in no other place. Like we're crushing it together. And, it takes me intention to get outside myself and tell them good job. And, when the class is over, to stay a couple minutes late and just kind of linger. But putting myself in that situation where I'm showing up at the same time and I'm developing rapport with people. Some of you just need to pull up and this is what I do. There's an app on my phone and it's on your phone too. And it's called Mind Body. And it's that orange one right there. Mind Body. And you can hit that and you can put in local, like it says explore and it says favorites. And literally you can go pick local classes or gyms you want to take in your area. And I know that budget is an issue, so maybe try one at a time, but stay in a place long enough where that social environment develops you some rapport and some new contacts before you leave it. Okay. It's going to be uncomfortable your first couple times going in somewhere by yourself, but that's part of developing the muscle. So if fat loss is your goal, why wouldn't you combine that with a new environment and a new pool for you to make new friends and new contacts? Because let's face it, if at some point you can get to a place where you're Facebook friends or where maybe you end up going to have coffee together, like that's the hottest lead you'll have when it comes to closing because you came as you were authentically and developed the relationship with them. The other one, host meetups, go to meetups. It's another app on your phone called Meetup. And I have honestly only been a part of I have two girls in the Kansas City area who are awesome at using the Meetup. One was Amy Broderick and the other one is Dr. Heather Carden. And she will open up her home with keto cooking and she'll get like 6 brand new people walking into her home when she does that. You could just think about what aligns. And don't go in on that first time selling people. A social environment is where you're building rapport, and it doesn't hurt to have a wing person if you guys have the intention that you will separate, you will meet new people, you won't get comfortable together, but you'll use each other to damn each other when the conversation comes up, directional awareness and marketing, if this is your first time. And so meetups, think about people who are into health, into cooking, healthy living, things like that, where you would have some sort of a common ground, personal development, business, finances, leadership. Just think about the taglines, the words, and that type of avatar you want and find that common ground with them. And then finally, happy hour. Okay, this is huge. This is really huge. And that was, what we settled on, me and this girl who's in Kansas City. She was like, I have these 3 friends. I really want them to be promoters. And I was like, wait. We can play this right. We can do this slow. Go ask them to meet at Coach's for happy hour and invite me. And let's not talk about business at all. They may ask, but let's just go build that relationship first. Okay. And if you are intentional and you are getting yourself in these social environments like it's your DMO, like it's your job to outbound on social media, if you are making yourself create a warm market by getting out there, then you will be consistent and you will do it. And so stop saying, I can't work my business because I'm not going to outbound. Fine. Then go do something that works. Where there's a will, where there's a way. Show up for yourself. Nobody's telling you what you have to do to be successful at this business. I was reading a story about expanding your local, your market and community-based marketing. And there was this guy who had been in prison for 20 years. He didn't have a college education, and everyone who knew him knew his story. And so many of you feel like you don't hold any credibility with your family or friends. You don't feel like you have any influence in your local community. Well, that's not a problem here, because all you have to do is be willing and have a burning desire to create it. Stop telling yourself the story that no one in your neighborhood, no one who knows you would be interested in community-based marketing. I mean, I had a group one time for Roanoke, and before I ever came in there, they were like trying to warn me. They were like, you don't understand. Advocare's been here. Everybody's got a bad stigma on multi-level marketing. This won't be where it, and I'm like, whoa, what a story. What a story. Are you telling me out of that entire town, nobody would want to take a 10-day experience and authentically come to a conversation? Like, you're judging them, you're judging their stories. You know every single person. Like, stop with the stories. Go create, but you can go create a new network wherever you're at with new pockets of groups, and that might be fun. Right? It might be interesting for you. It might create a little flavor in your life. It might get you out of the rut. But you have to take this message today and take it from conceptual to applied, because that's where success is. It's in the application. So what will you do? What social environment will you put yourself in that will add some energy and light into your life and create new relationships? Here's some tips when you go into the local environment. Number one, you have to build trust, okay? You have to be genuinely interested in people, okay? Especially when you're face-to-face. If they're talking to you, make eye contact, ask questions, put your phone away, okay? How many, it's even on these calls or on stage, it's like if you see someone on your phone while you're talking, or you see them do, it is an energy zapper. It's our minds can't help but say, I'm not worthy, or I'm not interesting, or this is so boring. If you are bringing value and attentiveness to someone that you're meeting, people need to stop and slow down and connect more. If you're bringing connectivity into people's lives and listening, that's just that doesn't happen like it should anymore. Technology has taken a space in us. And so if you can provide that, you will have authenticity. People will feel drawn to you. So make sure you're asking questions. If you go into a happy hour, that's uncomfortable. I have one girl, we just launched her business, and she's got 4 fitness friends. She had a girls' night planned, and I'm like, take me with you. Now, let me tell you right now, it's completely uncomfortable for me to go with this girl. These other girls, they're all in fitness. They're all gorgeous. They all think they know everything, probably because they're trainers. I don't care who you are, when you're going into a social setting where you don't know anyone, that's uncomfortable. And she said, I should bring you with me. And I said, yes, you should. So it's, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that. So when I'm going into that situation, I'm going to be very careful about, not over, I'm not there for the alcohol. I'm there to connect. And if they don't want to connect with me, that's fine, but I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to listen. And what I would challenge you to do when you're in that situation is pretend that you're not in community-based marketing, that you're not there to sell ketones, that you're not part of Prove It, okay? Because if that's into the back of your head, how am I going to turn this? How am I going to get to that? You're going to be nervous and you're going to feel uncomfortable. So drop that story out the door. In a social environment, you're going in to build trust and to build rapport, because this could be a beautiful relationship. And if you have a wing person, then it could comfortably come up later for someone else to do a third party to, if the question asks, what do you do? Somebody else can come in and help answer that so you don't feel like you're selling them. So I told a story about a couple months ago. I called my sister and I wanted to break through into the local market with real estate agents and loan officers, because a lot of those are women who want time freedom, their sales, they're constantly doing fundraisers, they're constantly in social environments. So I asked my sister to take me out with the 3 top women in the KC area that she was going to their house. And I said at some point I would love for you to just validate the ketones. And I mean, that conversation came up like that because my sister was like, I'm so proud of her, she's launched this technology, I take it every day, it's amazing. All 3 of them begged for a 10-day experience, which I had out in my car. Now, that wasn't the outcome. That went super well. But since then, I've had one-on-one lunches with a couple of them. And one of them is an incredible referrer. But what I look for is, like, next in a month, they're going to a dinner theater with a couple new girls and they're going to invite me. So the outcome to that was amazing. And I had to put myself into that situation of going there and doing it. Had to get out of the bubble. So make sure if you're not focusing on you and you're focusing on them, then they will turn it. You will have your opportunity. And if you don't, then I don't know if I want that person on my team. You know what I mean? If they're the type of person that doesn't ask someone about them after you've given. So just be a person that people feel good around, that you make them feel good. And here's the thing, when you leave the social environments, if you cared and if you listened, then you know their pain points. And from then on out, if you can become Facebook friends, send them a book in the mail. Send them, it may have nothing to do with their health, but take heed of what they're passionate about and things that they're pursuing, and be a connector of value. If you know what other people are looking for and you support them in that, it will always come back around to you. And so that would be the most important thing to do when leaving a social environment, is commit to the relationship and bringing value to it. And I promise you, it will bring back tenfold into your business at some point, some way, shape, or form. So 928, whoop, whoop, that was not bad. And that's it for the social environment. So takeaway, action, make this, don't make this conceptual, apply it, go find a new social environment this week, stick in it long enough to get past your own comfort, to build rapport, to have some new relationships, take it into private meetings, and bring value. All right, very cool. All right, have a good one.
Thanks, Abby.
Thank you, Abigail.